Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I just have to say sorry about the delay. I've had a virus and I've been in bed sleeping for the last 3 days, and I've just kind of climbed out of bed, kind of got myself soaking in the bath and feeling a little bit better today, so I do apologise about the delay. So to compensate for that, I'm going to give you an extra longer reading from the 28th of November to the 10th of December. Okay, this time frame is going to cover. So again, if you've booked a personal reading with me, if I've said to you there's a slight delay, I should get those done by today and tomorrow. So please bear with me to catch up. So again, sorry about having to wait for my weekly readings, and enjoy the reading. Okay. Hello Taurus, this is your weekly reading, extended weekly reading for was it 28th of November until the 10th of December, so it's an extended weekly reading because I'm a little bit delayed, okay, as I said in the intro. So I've got the first layer here, so I'm going to be doing this in layers as I go along, so it's all kind of incorporated within the reading, general and love. Okay, so be patient with me because the clarification comes towards the end. So let's go with the first layer, which is the medieval deck. Okay, I've got here, the first card I've got here is there's a lot of fantasy around someone here. Whatever this is, there's fantasy around this. The moon card, and there's, on top of that is the magician. Now somebody lives in a fantasy world and seems to like to play a little games. So I've got that here, trickery, so there is some fantasy. God knows what that is, but we'll see where that goes. Okay, I see you working very hard in building up your finances, building up your career, and people are watching you. Okay, I also get that in the midst of this kind of fantasy and magician here, I've got that either you or this other person wants this stable family life, although this person, it could be you, Taurian, quite likes this dancing around of this unrealistic fantasy world, but also likes their stability as well, both. Now, I did say with the last week's it was cake and eat it, and I hope it seems to be leading on from this, but I see you moving forward with your partner, or trying to move to calmer waters with your partner. You're trying to move to calmer waters. Why are you trying to move to calmer waters? Because you don't want to give up this fantasy in the middle. You know, the longer, I have to say, Taurus, the longer this continues, the harder it's going to get to explain this out, to manage this, the longer this goes on. And I get somebody who's not really thinking about that. They're actually just trying to do both. There's a difficulty with you actually trusting in life itself here. It's like the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It's like you saying, well, you know, if I don't do it, they'll do it. You know, everybody treats each other like dirt these days. So if I don't do it, that person will do it to me. That kind of energy. But you're trying to, I think, whatever this is, you're trying to steer this away. But your attitude was, you know, why not treat people like this? They treat you like this, that kind of thing. Now I have got here, somebody's withholding this. Sorry, my ear is itching. Somebody's withholding this because they don't want to be hurtful. This fantasy, this magician, they're trying to withhold this information because they don't want to be hurtful. I've got the King of Swords in reverse. So this is why you're desperately trying to withhold this information to take this relationship into a more calming, stable, I think you've decided you want the stability rather than this fantasy, I feel. Either you or the other way around. So you are freeing yourself from these burdens of this fantasy. Whatever this fantasy is, you know, it could be anything. It's putting strain on you, and you're trying to balance this out. And you're trying to free yourself from this fantasy thing, and I feel you truly love this person, and you're going to go with your heart rather than your fantasy. Okay, I get this. You've decided to go with who you love and your heart rather than going with a fantasy kind of lifestyle here. And it's kind of it's taken a while for you to make that decision, or the other way around. Somebody's taken a while to make that decision, maybe over 18 months or something ridiculous like that. But somebody's saying, well, that's enough of that fantasy. I'm going to concentrate on this relationship, this stability. This is important to me. That was the fantasy, but it's kind of letting go of that that's the problem. You know, so you are anticipating problems over this. Got the 9 of Wands. You are anticipating problems in the future from this. I get somebody on the edge of their seat, worried in case somebody finds out about this kind of fantasy world here. Because they don't want to lose this person. They've decided that was a fantasy. I want to keep with my, you know, my stability. I don't, you know, but there's I get you or someone else is scared, so scared of this actually coming up in the future. Okay, so that's the first layer here. Taurus. Okay, Taurus, I've put down, on top of that, I've chosen the Good Tarot to put on for the second layer. So let's have a look, see what this layer says. Now, this fantasy world, this magician, I feel that this is, it's an old flame, okay. I get the 6 of Water, which is an old flame from the past, the good old days. It's the kind of thing, excuse me, it's the kind of thing that you used to do when you was a teenager, and it's kind of, it resurfaced, I feel. But now, now you're rejecting this because this person's very negative. I get the Six of Water. The person that you're having, you are having this fantasy situation with is kind of quite negative. The whole thing is negative. The whole thing is negative, and you're kind of now rejecting this. The Nine of Air. Now you have to gracefully end this. I've got the Ten of Air here, so it's trying to maintain this stability within your family and gracefully ending this fantasy here. I do get you're doing this, but again, it could be the other way around. I see you, I think somebody's sending text messages, sending naughty pictures of, you know, it's a fantasy. It could be just that, you know, sending text messages, nude pictures and things like that, and that's it. But it could be more than that, okay. But I do get somebody, it's a nostalgic thing from an old flame, and I get here, you're trying to not answer these messages or texts. You're ignoring them because you know it's a negative thing, and you're throwing yourself into your work situation and trying to ignore these phone calls or whatever they are. You could even be getting phone calls at work. This person could even start to stalk you, trying to find out where you are, and you're throwing yourself into work because this is your destiny. Your work, your business is your destiny. I've got the fortune wheel, which is your destiny. So you're trying to pull your relationship into calmer waters because you're realizing that you're realizing, you know what, I'm partly to blame for this. You've decided this is no longer for me, this fantasy situation, it's no longer for me. And, you know, admitting that this was wrong, So I've got the Seven of Earth. But the problem is, if this came to light, this would really hurt this person that you're in a relationship with, because you jeopardize this for this fantasy. Now, I do get the person that you're in a relationship with is a fire sign, but it also could be an earth sign here. And you know that you've been hurtful. You know that you've been hurtful because I see that you just went with, you went with a fantasy. I'm going to, explore that fantasy, and now you realise it was wrong, and now you're trying hard to make it work with this relationship, and you're trying to work together as a team, because I've got the Three of Earth. You're trying to work as a team with this person because you realise that if they do, and I've just said this, but you realise that if they do find out, they're going to be devastated by what you've done. So you're trying to honour differences here. Not answering the telephone messages, the phone calls, the kind of stalking. I get somebody's being stalked here. I'm trying to be creative in how to deal with this. And honouring differences. letting go of this burden. You kind of don't want it anymore. I get you don't want this anymore. It was an old flame and starting to banter and things like this, but you don't want it anymore. You want to follow your heart, which is with your partner, male or female actually, and you want this to flourish. You want your relationship to flourish. You know, you want to immerse yourself into your business, your creative life, your work, and also this relationship. You want this all to flourish, you know, and this person is getting in the way here. Okay, this old flame, letting this person down gently, but you're kind of fearing so much that this is going to backfire. How do I keep this without this exploding? And I've got here the Two of Earth, which is juggling this situation. Juggling two people too. Juggling two people. Now, this is not going to resonate with all of you. I do get this as you that's been tempted with this fantasy situation. It may just be text messages, it may be naughty pictures from an ex, you know, an ex, an old flame, or it could be actually more than that, you know, that you actually pursued something further. But you kind of realise that the longer this goes on, this is going to be quite damaging. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go for the pixie decks next, just to see what the pixie deck has got to say. Hello Taurus, so I've put down the pixie deck, and the first card I've got on top of the fantasy here situation is you have been a rat. You have been a rat. Now, I do get you've been a rat, so could be the other way around, because this person, this old flame from the past, has resurfaced. Now, there is a problem now that this person could get very hostile because of what you've done, because you're rejecting them. You're rejecting them. Now they could become hostile. But this, you want this to end, okay? And I've got the skies here, the skies. I think you know you've been a rat, but you know this person was throwing themselves at you, or the other way around. In terms of single people, I feel that you know, I feel that you may have just had this fantasy casual relationship, and that's it. You don't want to take this any further, and you know, that kind of energy here. You're not really that bothered, but this person will not leave you alone. There's a bit of stalking going on here, okay? Now, this has been hidden in terms of maybe even if you've been single, you've hidden this because it's not the sort of relationship you wanted to stick. You know, this kind of relationship was always going to be casual. But if you're in, even if you're in a relationship, marriage here, this was just a fantasy, and it's over, and you want it to end. And I've got here, it was seduction, and there is going to be somebody's going to send you emails, but send you emails at work, you know, because they can't reach you at home, because you're either married or you're in a relationship or you've blocked them. So they're going to call you up at work, and you're going to be answering the phone, and they're going to talk to you, and it's going to mess up your work situation because you're trying to prove to these people here. And that's going to be escalating around that You know, you've got this man calling you at work, or this woman calling you at work, and they're going to have all sorts of thoughts about how irresponsible you are, because you could have a partner, you may be married. So I've got here that, yeah, there is some kind, it is an email, and it's a love story, and it's to do with seduction. This person, you know, it's all hidden. It's the moon card, it's hidden, but this person's coming up to the surface. Okay, now you have the Queen of Fire here, who is very, very loyal to you, like the golden retriever. Very loyal. Is, you know, is a loyal lover, trustworthy, and you want to keep that person. You don't want this fantasy. Okay, it was a fantasy, and it's over. And I keep saying that because that's what I'm getting spiritually. Again, you're trying to end this because you don't want your family to know about this. And I've got, you know, like I said, a 10 of air, trying to end this, but this person keeps texting you, letters, emails, text messages, phone calls. They won't leave you alone. And now you're realizing, oh my God, I have dabbled with this person, and I knew that they were obsessive. I blame myself. It's that kind of feeling that I blame myself. I should not have pursued this. So there is meetings here. I think you're going to meet, you know, this person's going to pester you, stalk you until you actually meet up with them. I've got, and it's like a celebration too. It's like, you know, it's like the Three of Cups, the garden, and it's like a celebration, but it's also can mean third parties. And this person's going to press until you agree to meet up with them. Now, I think I do feel you're going to give, there's a gift here, a gift of appreciation, and it's a happy gift, and I feel it's to your partner, or your partner gives you a gift, a bunch of flowers. There's a gift here. Could even be just a bunch of flowers, you know, that guilty partner buying you those bunch of flowers, you know, and kind of sparks off, you know, what have you done kind of thing. And then I do feel this gift is actually moving home, because I do get that you may have to move home to get away from this person. And I get a house move here. So this person may even email or contact your partner. And it is somebody, it is an old love. I've got an old, you know, an old lover, the lilies. It's an old lover that's going to come back. And either you're going to move away, or your partner is going to move out and move away, and this is what you don't want to happen. And I've got here moving house. Somebody is going to move, either both of you or one of you is going to move area. You're so trying to juggle this. You don't want this to, you know, either you are, what I will do, I'm going to do the love angel cards here next. But if you're single here, this could be an ex that won't leave you alone, and it was just a casual situation. You got back together, you had sex, and you're thinking, I don't really want to be with them, but they won't leave you alone. And it could even turn to stalking, because I've got somebody moving away here to try to get away from this person. So I'm going to do the love angel cards next. Okay, Taurus. Now this could be you, or it could be the other way around. Like I said, it's not going to resonate with all of you. Now I've got you asking your friends, your family what to do in this situation, because this other person will not leave you alone. The other person is loyal towards you. I think you're going to say, you're trying to heal it with this fantasy situation, and say, look, I'm sorry, please forgive me, it's my fault, I shouldn't have done this, and all this. But you're not going to get away with it like that, either you or the other way around. Okay, I think there's problems here. This is going to be a lesson for you, Taurus, that you thought you'd get away with this, and it doesn't work like that. Now you've got two people. You've got one that's stalking you to high heaven, will not let you go. This old lover, and also you've lost trust with your partner, because I think this is going to come out, because they don't trust you. You've been sneaking around like this. This person's been totally loyal to you, like the Labrador, the Golden Retriever. They're going to walk out on you. There's a separation. Now, you know, this person is going to leave you. But the thing is that there's a twist to this, because you're going to say, oh, fine, go. I'll go with the other person. And I feel that you will go with this other person, the fantasy person, and it's going to be like a new love. This other person's going to move out or move away, and you're trying to stay optimistic, thinking, well, if you don't want me, I've got this other person, fine. If you're not willing to fight for me, I'll just stay with this fantasy person. So you're trying to stay optimistic, because you don't want to be left on your own, and it's worth waiting for, you feel. I feel somebody feels it's worth waiting for. Maybe this fantasy person feels that it's stalking you, that you're worth fighting for, you're worth waiting for, you're worth fighting this person and driving this other person out so they can win you over. There is an attraction, no doubt about it. They are attracted to you, they're obsessed by you. Now, I feel that you would have to actually move away to get away from this person. But I do see a separation. Where do you go with this? This is up to the 10th of December. I think you did. I don't feel you wanted this, but you've ended up with the person you don't want. You've ended up with the person, the fantasy person, that you know you made the mistake with, that you and that's the person you're left with. So where does that leave you? I'm getting you, but it could be the other way around. You know, so I'm just putting some angel answer cards here. So let's have a look here. What's the angel answer cards say here? Angel answers. Not a great deal. It says it's not the right time. Compromise. So it's not the right time to make a compromise here. It's not the right time to try to make a compromise. I feel maybe leave some time and space to see where this, you know, see if time heals the wounds, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's your reading, okay? If you'd like your own personal reading, like I say, it's not going to resonate with all of you. If you like your own personal reading, please give me an email. My email address is at the bottom here, and I will send you my tariff. And also, if you'd like to make a small donation towards supporting my channel, please do, which is well, you just have to give me an email and just suggest that you'd like anything from $1 to help support my channel. Okay, so sending you lots of love, lots of blessings, and you take care. Bye bye.